Hi everyone, it's only Becky. Welcome back to my Hogwarts Legacy Story Mode walkthrough. Please keep in mind that this is story mode, so some of the puzzles are easier to complete and the enemies are easier to defeat. Also, none of the music you hear will be from the game. In today's video, we're going to talk to the goblin that Sirona knows, and we're going to check in with Sebastian. So, let's get to it. First, the quests. These gold quests are for the main story, and the others are side quests. I'm not going to tell you how to do all these quests. They're mostly tutorial in nature, or they're self-explanatory. But I will show you this. When I hover over the quest, the lower right corner of the screen says that we can type F to show us where the quest location is on the map. That's handy when the quest is located far away. Anyway, we need to learn how to care for beasts, so we'll go to Beast class.
Welcome, everyone. I see you've already met some of the many beasts we study in this class. Though be advised, none of these creatures should be taken lightly. They are all in their own way dangerous, especially if one does not know how to handle them properly.
Here we meet Professor Howen, who tells Poppy Sweeting to teach us. I believe that should be Professor Howen's job, but whatever. After Poppy teaches us to care for a Puffskein, we go to a pen to care for a Kneazle. There are some kids here trying to steal whiskers from a Kneazle, but we save it.
What in Merlin's name are you doing?
Ugh, tuss, peculiar Poppy.
They make weird faces and leave.
Let's go.
After we feed and brush the Kneazles, Professor Howen talks to us for a minute about our extra tasks.
I did. How did you find your first beasts lesson?
It was wonderful. I believe I'm really going to enjoy this class.
Good.
And then Poppy wants to talk to us. She tells us a bit about herself, and then she wants to introduce us to someone.
In the forest.
We follow her, and on the way, she tells us that we're the first person she's taken to meet this someone.
Please meet Highwing. Isn't she just magnificent?
Turns out the someone is a hippogriff named Highwing. We learn a bit about hippogriffs and about Highwing in particular. Turns out she's a dreadful busybody. Off she goes, and Poppy tells us a bit about the poachers. The poachers' influence is growing, and the ministry isn't much help.
I see them every day in the village, lingering, talking to people. They're up to something. I'm just not sure what.
Poppy is going to look into what they're doing, and we agree to help. Before we move on, let me show you this. Remember in a previous video when I said that there were more brooms than Mr. Weeks sells in his shop? Here's how to find some. These are traveling sellers. Their shop locations look like piles of coins. If you go there, talk with the seller and ask what they're selling.
Hello, do you have anything for sale?
That I do, but what's a student like yourself doing out here? Got yourself lost, did you? Bit of a wanderer myself, in fact. Name's Leopold Babcock, and I am indeed here to sell.
He tries to sell us Wiggenweld potion, and then we can see his inventory. Here's his exclusive broom, the Sky Scythe. There are 8 of these sellers. Alrighty, back to things. So, at the end of my last video, we told Professor Fig about a goblin that's friends with Sirona who might be able to help us. We need to find him, so let's start at the 3 broomsticks.
Nice to see you.
We thank Sirona for her help with Harlow and Rookwood. She says she's glad we were there where there was help when they confronted us. We ask about the goblin. Sirona says his name is Lodgok, and he's a friend of hers that she's known for years. Not all goblins are like Ranrock and his loyalists. Lodgok is as worried as everyone else. We say we'd like to talk to him and ask where we can find him. Sirona says to try the Hog's Head, so here we go. Inside the Hog's Head, Lodgok says we look familiar. We sit down with him, and after some pleasantries, we say we want to talk about Ranrock. We tell him we want to know what Ranrock's loyalists are up to so we can stay a step ahead. He asks us how he knows he can trust us.
Sirona trusts me, and she said she thought our interests may be aligned.
Well, if Sirona trusts you, very well.
He says that he may know of something that can help us both. A way to get Ranrock to confide his plans to Lodgok. Years ago, a witch stole a goblin relic. Rumor says the relic is now buried with her sarcophagus in a tomb accessible only by wizards. You know what that means? We have to navigate a cave again. Ranrock and Lodgok had a falling out. Retrieving this relic could help their relationship, so we agree to find the relic, and Lodgok tells us to meet him near the witch's tomb. He doesn't tell us where that is, but fortunately for us, the map knows. On the way, we discuss the relic called the Helmet of Urtgot. The witch bought it and didn't care about the goblins that made it. Goblins believe the rightful owner of an item is its maker. Since the witch bought the helmet from another person, not the goblin who made it, goblins consider it stolen. We say wizards believe differently about ownership, and Lodgok says that there are many differences between goblins and wizards, but he believes that those differences are not insurmountable. We walk on for a while until we finally reach the tomb. Lodgok wishes us luck. He says that as a wand carrier, we should have an advantage. He can't go in with us because, again, the tomb is accessible only to wizards. We enter the tomb. I'm not going to go through the whole tomb with you. There are several great online tutorials that will help you get through the puzzles here. They're not super hard, but I will tell you that there are several things to collect in here, so use Revelio a lot. And also, this is when we get our first glimpse of Inferi. They take no damage unless they've been on fire first, so Confringo and Incendio are a must in here. There will be jillions of them, so keep that in mind. Again, since we're in story mode, they take forever to attack. Make sure to collect the skulls because we'll use them in potions later. Okay, we've reached the tomb and we see a dead Ashwinder. They stole the helmet. We find a ring and go back to Lodgok. To do that, go behind the sarcophagus. We do something with the fire and the door opens. Outside, we tell Lodgok what happened. He's upset that the Ashwinders beat us to the relic and we have to get it before Rookwood can use it to get in better with Ranrock. Lodgok saw an Ashwinder camp nearby, but we have to go alone. He's too old to fight, so we agree to get it. It's not too far, you can run if you like, but I prefer to fly. However you get there, the gold pointer will tell you where to go. So we arrive at the camp and we fight the bad guys and a troll and collect our loot. Then we go across the bridge and open this big chest. The helmet is in there. Uh-oh, more bad guys.
This is for Rookwood!
This purple lady can call Inferi to help. But if you defeat her, the Inferi will also be defeated, so you can just save time and get her. You can finish fighting all of the bad guys if you want loot, but you can also just run back to Lodgok since you have the helmet. They won't follow you the whole way. Either way, Lodgok is happy to have the helmet back. He exclaims over his beauty.
The helmet shines even more brightly than I imagined. The etchings, the contour of the profile, remarkable.
He says it was lucky for the Ashwinders that we found it, because Lodgok knows many a goblin that would kill for it. Though, isn't that what we just did? Anyways, Lodgok says he'll take the helmet to Ranrock immediately. It may distract him from his search. His search? What search? Lodgok says it's just an inkling, but he clearly let that slip and doesn't want to explain. Anyways, he heads off, telling us to keep our arrangement quiet for now. Quest complete. Like I said, I'm not going to show you how to complete every single quest because most of them are tutorial in nature. There are tons of guides online to show you how to complete them all if you need help, which you probably won't. I'm just going to go through these gold ones because they have to do with the story, and that's why we're here. So, let's go visit Anne with Sebastian. When we arrive, we see that Sebastian is on a lookout tower. He says he's keeping an eye on things.
Feldcroft isn't what it used to be.
Nothing is, Sebastian. Nothing is. Anyway, he says no one is safe since Ranrock's loyalists took over Rookwood Castle over there in the distance. His uncle Solomon, a former Auror, won't look into it, even after Anne was cursed. Sebastian thinks the goblin who cursed Anne may have had a wand. Goblins are not permitted to carry wands. That's why Lodgok called us a wand carrier. Anyway, Sebastian hopes a surprise visit from him and a new friend will cheer her up, so let's go. He scares his medically fragile sister and then shows her a shrivel fig.
Aha!
Sebastian, where did you... Is that what I think it is?
We've been over this, boy.
Hey.
Shrivel figs cannot reverse a curse. Nothing can. The sooner you accept that reality, the better.
Sebastian and Solomon get into a shouting match. Sebastian wants to try some more cures and Solomon says there is none. Anne starts screaming in pain and Solomon blames Sebastian. Solomon tells Sebastian to leave. Sebastian needs a moment alone, so let's go talk to Anne. Anne says nothing Sebastian or us did to cause her pain outburst. They just come on suddenly. She misses Hogwarts, but she wouldn't mind Feldcroft so much if it wasn't so dreary. Between the goblins at the castle and Solomon and Sebastian fighting.
It's not the cozy retreat it once was.
We mentioned how very angry Solomon is, and Anne said he's frustrated, both by Anne's affliction and by Sebastian for thinking he can fix it. She says Solomon is right. The curse cannot be undone. She asks us to help Sebastian understand that. She's tired, so we go talk to Solomon. He apologizes for Sebastian's behavior and asks us how Anne is. He said nothing can be done for her. Now, we have options for replies here. If you agree with Solomon, he's still angry but pleasant. If you choose to agree with Sebastian, he yells at us. He says Sebastian could cause more harm than good by giving Anne false hope. Alright, it's time to check on with Sebastian. He's annoyed at his uncle, but determined to cure Anne. He takes us to where it happened. On the way, he tells us the goblins have been digging for something. Then he shows us the plateau where the curse happened. As we get closer, we see some goblins, easily defeated. After the battle, Sebastian tells us more about Anne. There was a fire, and Anne ran to see if she could help. A goblin said, "Children should be seen and not heard." That's when the curse happened. We say that's an awfully violent response to a child wandering by. They must have been hiding something. Sebastian agrees. We have a look around. Revelio will show you what you're supposed to interact with. Sebastian says he's heard that goblin dig sites like these are popping up everywhere. We ask whose home this was, and Sebastian heard it once belonged to a Hogwarts teacher. He wants to look at the house itself, so we do. We go into the house and see a burned portrait. We think it was damaged in the fire, but Sebastian thinks it looks deliberate. We go to Sebastian and tell him everything we know about Isadora Morganach because she is the one that used to live here. And we tell him about the keepers. We depulso some rocks and descend a stairwell. There's Devil's Snare down here, so be sure to light your wand so you don't die. Use Revelio and you'll find some diary pages. You can read them if you want. They might not make sense now, but they will later. And that weird ice-looking wall is back. We can see the Undercroft through it. We tell Sebastian about this weird ability we have to travel through these walls to distant places.
Well then, invisible, secret, ancient magic passageway? Here we come.
Back in the Undercroft, we see that weird rune symbol on a wall. The wall changes to reveal a cabinet of sorts. We open it and see that it's not a cabinet, but a triptych. A triptych is a picture or relief carving on 3 panels, typically hinged together side by side. There are 2 pieces missing, however. In the center, there's a note. We check it out and it's full of symbols. We've seen the keepers use these symbols. Sebastian asks if we think Anne was cursed by ancient magic. We say no because we didn't see traces of it around Anne, but Sebastian says we'll have to complete the triptych to find out more. He wants to see Ominous for some reason, but he promises not to tell Ominous anything. Then he offhandedly mentions that Slytherin had a scriptorium in the castle. I got all excited thinking it's the Chamber of Secrets, but no such luck. We will find the scriptorium in another video though. Mission complete and we're done. I'll leave the video here. I'm going to complete some side quests, so if I have new spells or abilities next time, that's why. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!